Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss new bourbon offerings from that guy who yells at people while he attempts to save their bar. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Kathy Cole, Jim Swyatt, and Lenny Eckstein.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hello.
Yeah, that opening. Well, first of all, Lenny got a warning because he bumped his microphone and got in trouble from Beka beforehand. And then, but this whole the yellow people, I literally said anytime the warden puts that or flipping through and puts that show on, I was like, hey, stop! I think this is the one where he yells at the people. I say that every fucking time. That joke never gets old because it's true. Believe it or not, by the end of the show, he's got their face in the screen.
Are you trying to get people sick? You can't pour from one bar! It's illegal! It's illegal!
It was
on British accent.
Oregon.
You got Gordon Ramsay.
He's just calling people idiot sandwiches. What are you? An idiot sandwich.
Spectacular.
So
Ramsay's at least elegant about the way that he screams at people. John Taffer just looks like he's about to have a fucking heart attack in his screaming.
Just explodes.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about John Taffer and him dipping his toe into the world of bourbon. We'll get to that, though, after the break. For right now, Kathy said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
Yeah, so last night, Dustin was in talking about Steve Beam.
Yes.
And he was talking about how
Local
Steve
Luxco
Beam,
rep, Dustin
Yep.
Paris, for those not familiar. Yeah, go ahead, though.
how Stephen Beam felt like someone in his family needed to distill. And there was a point where no one was distilling with a Beam name. And he said, our ancestors had to work so hard to get a good drink. And how lucky were we? So based on what you know about your heritage, what do you think your job would be? And if you need help, I can start. Okay. So my family is, I'm mostly German. And they don't.
Whoa. Where are we going with this, Kathy?
Oh, God. Yeah.
No. Way back. We're going way back.
Okay.
My family's mostly German and they don't come from money. So I really feel like I would be a bar wench had I maintained my heritage job.
Yeah.
I would be wearing, carrying 6
Fräulein.
Yes,
Yeah.
Fräulein KK with her 6 pints of beer.
Yeah. If your heritage dictates who you are, the greatest heritage that I think I've got, I did know my great grandparents on my mom's side. They were alive. Unfortunately, they passed away by the time I was 6 years old, both of them. But I do remember them, and they came from Russia in 1917, leaving before the revolution. And they came in, they didn't speak the language, menial jobs. I mean, whatever was willing to pay him when he got here, cleaning bathrooms at schools, whatever it was. He would take whatever work he could get. He had no necessarily set of skills like me. I can't fix anything. I would just be doing menial tasks, and I am actually would probably be where I'd be destined to be. So there you go. That's it. That's all I'd be.
From everybody anyway, Steve. So you're pretty much doing it right now.
Yeah,
you know?
This is true. You just gather up a network of people and then let people take care of it. So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I've got a funny story I want to tell you guys when we get off the air. Too.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'll jump in on this one. So my it's very entertaining. So if I go to my mom's side, my grandfather came down with a condition where it's called like a something's hand, where they lose the tendon and they lose their finger ends up going up a tendon and it goes from there. Whatever it's called, but it's basically
trigger finger. If it happens to your index finger, it's called trigger finger. Yeah.
So so that happened to my grandfather. We couldn't figure out why, because he thought he was 100% Irish, but that's tracked back to Viking Norse blood, which means I've had a great grandmother at some point in time who was the spoils of some type of Viking. So I want to say I'd be a Viking at some point in time.
But hence the flowing hair.
The flowing hair. Yeah, exactly. The more interesting one is on my dad's side. My great grandmother was making hooch for all the Polish crowd in her bathtub, and flavoring it with
bathtub
fruit.
Hooch.
Exactly, and running it with the Capone family back in the day at Old Paulina Street in downtown Chicago. Okay. So she was.
My grandmother did that in downtown St. Louis.
There you go. Okay. Run back of a bunch of booze runners. I love it. Now I know where I got it from. Yeah.
So, a quick side question before we get to Lenny and then Miss Beka Sue, of course. What do we think Tim's got a button-down job. He's a financial planner type of guy. If Tim is retired, doesn't have anybody to report to, doesn't have to have any sort of look on, what does he look like? I bet you his hair is halfway down his back. Long beard.
He's going to be unrecognizable.
Yeah, he wears sandals a lot and with bad toenails too, I bet. Yeah. He doesn't clip his toenails. And there's those thick ones. There are those thick ones like my grandfather had. My grandfather had those thick toenails. And I ever since seeing my grandfather's toenails, I can't see anybody in sandals where you can see their toes. I don't want to see anyone's toes. Those thick toenails, how thick were those fucking things? What did he cut them with? And he really cut them, but when he did, I'm sure it was a whole thing he had to have going on, because those were some thick.
So Tim, it went from complimenting your flowing hair to gross toes.
Let's not analyze the show. Let's let the show just happen.
I thought I'd be probably into man whoring, like Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, something like that. Assopopolis.
You think you might look like that if you? Okay.
Yeah, I like the long flowing mane if the missus would let me get away with it.
Yeah,
I did grow the beard out over the holidays, and it got pretty lush,
right,
and thick, and it took me about an hour to trim that thing down, and I was disappointed.
She was it was like a stranger in the house for her. She was like, "Oh, this is fantastic."
Man was loving it.
You'd have to use the same beard trimmer that Steve's grandfather used on his toenails.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Exactly right. Yes, usually the gas powered one. Yeah,
thick toenails. All right, Lenny, how about you, man?
Well, so Kathy, when you asked this question, I immediately was like, shoot, I don't know. And one of the dilemmas I have is terrible recall from my parents on what my family did, where they're from. And whenever they do offer something up, it sounds like complete bullshit, because I don't know if it is or not. So I mean, like a lot of people, I was like, you know what, I'm going to just get to the bottom of this. So I'll spit in a vial and send it off to 23andMe and see what happens.
Okay.
And not...
Then he gets arrested 3 months later for.
Yeah,
I to say, then he's on the grid and he's on the stand.
Yeah.
Yep. It didn't tell me what my grandfather did for a living, but it did tell me, not surprisingly, that I'm 99% Jew, which I don't even know how that's a thing. Like, I'm like, where am I from though?
Right.
We don't know where you're from, but you are definitely a Jew.
Yeah. The other 1%, very much like Tim, I'm 1% Scandinavian, so maybe I would be Vikinging with Tim, pillaging or something. Probably not though. I mean, maybe I'll go with the 99.
Boy, that's a movie. You two trying to be Vikings.
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
Like
thrown
back in time is what I'm seeing. It's like them thrown back in time, and they're like, "Holy shit, we have to be Vikings."
Tim and his sidekick Lenny.
Why is that Viking so short?
Right.
I could see Lenny just being ruthless. Like
Oh,
he's the
of
one that's
course.
like running around because he's the
got,
shortest
like,
one out.
he's got like a bunch of knives and stuff that he's like.
Exactly.
That he's
Yes.
made. Yeah, he's forged in
Tim's
that.
the whole time looking for a
Tim's just got an
hairbrush.
axe.
No,
Tim's
Tim's just
looking for
got
a hairbrush.
Tim just has his
That's right.
thick calcified toenails that he defends himself
Correct.
with.
That he cuts with the axe.
He,
Yeah.
he kicks you like an ostrich, and that doesn't. If he hits the liver, you're done. Yeah, so there you go. That's what you got to worry about with Tim. The liver. Watch out for the liver shots. So yeah. All right, Beka, how about you? If you had your path was set by your heritage, what would you be doing?
I have a strange heritage, kind of. I mean, like on my mother's side, we owned a doll factory in Germany prior to the war,
A doll
That's
factory.
creepy.
which got changed into
I
hey,
bet you those were creepy looking dolls too.
I
Because
bet
all
they were.
old dolls were creepy looking.
probably, but it got changed into obviously like a munitions of sorts, whatever they had to do for like the war, whatever during
Right,
World War
right.
II.
So they were shooting dolls out of cannons.
Out of cannons, yeah.
yeah, really cool stuff.
Scaring people to death.
And then
Chatty Cathy dolls.
On Zilly's side of things, he was a soldier and he was a cop. His father was mob related, and I would imagine more Zilly's part of that were probably mob related. On my dad's side, we've got some farmers and we have some moonshine runners, so some bootleggers. So I'd probably be a mob wife, maybe. That's what my destiny would probably be. That sounds fun.
Interesting.
It does sound fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, sounds like a blast.
There
Or
you go.
making, or making
Pants with
dolls.
juicy
I
on
guess.
the
Making
ass.
dolls. I think, yeah.
Making
I think
dolls,
you'd
I
be a doll
guess.
maker. Creepy
Yeah,
doll maker.
creepy doll.
Creepy doll maker. Can you see me
Right.
like ding ding? I got like a big like glass thing in my eye
Oh,
that
yeah.
I'm like
A loop.
monocle.
Yeah, you got the loop
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be good.
Well, let me see what we can make here.
Let's see.
What's this?
The doll's
Yeah,
not
see?
creepy looking enough.
I haven't made
See?
this doll creepy enough. I better make it a
Yeah,
little
see?
bit more creepy.
Creepy. Yeah. All right. Guess what, gang? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with KK herself, Ms. Kathy Cole.
All right. So I have a Westport whiskey and wine, 100% malted rye.
Yum.
Okay. Limestone Branch. No. Cute. It was cute. It has the lead. I
Cute
would hope.
bottle.
Was cute.
I would hope that that's not going to win, but we'll see. Beka, you're next.
I'm gonna go with I've got some bullet bourbon here. This is just the bourbon, nothing fancy. Someone left it at my house, so. And this stuff tastes like juicy fruit gum.
Okay.
Just
Fair enough. Okay, that's good. That's good. Little squeak in there, but overall good. Lenny, you're next.
I've got a bottle of Bear Creek bourbon. They're out of Denver. One of their guys stopped by Buena Vista a few weeks ago and dropped this off, so I'm gonna give it a crack.
Oh, Lenny, we've been waiting
What
for
the
that for
hell
5
is
years.
going on?
That was a
Holy shit.
cannon.
You guys can just throw in the towel now.
I
We
guess
didn't hear
so.
anything.
We might
What
as
was
well
going on
miss.
there?
We
Mike
might as well
Muffle.
skip Tim. We know we won't hear anything from him.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. We'll let Tim
Performance issues.
bring this thing home. I've got Parker's Heritage here. This is the orange curacao barrel finish. It was decent. I'd say a solid third place. Becca's was clearly second, but not good enough to win anything here.
I thought
So-
yours sounded better than mine, but
Okay.
I'll take second all day.
No, nowhere near as neither of you, you or I, were as close to Lenny's. Lenny's was, the
Lenny's
best-
was
by
fine.
far the best cork pop you ever had.
That would be the
So,
sound of me
Let's
pillaging
hear
on my
what
Viking
fifth
ship.
place sounds like.
Yeah.
That was the peak of Lenny's cork pops. By the way, it's all downhill from here. I'm
Maybe.
gonna enjoy some of this hickory smoked whiskey from Deerhammer. Our friends over at Deerhammer, there in wonderful Buena Vista, Colorado, known for
Yeah.
their terrible cork pops. By the way,
Nothing there at
Yeah.
all. Nothing. So
Embarrassing.
it was
Yeah.
bassy over here. It really was. I got to tell you,
Like I said, we
a
were
shame.
waiting to hear what fifth place sounded like.
yeah.
And I did not.
Lenny, you win, buddy. Cheers,
Oh, yeah.
man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. We'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about John Taffer's brown butter bourbon. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
This is Richard Paul from Art of the Spirits. Welcome to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about John Taffer.
Yes, we are. He's got an 80 proof flavored whiskey on the flavored bourbon, I guess, on the market now. $35 a bottle. Yeah, it is. $35 a bottle. Press release comes out, and clearly, if you want to be his press person, you just got to blow so much smoke up his ass that it's unbelievable, because that thing is just patting him on the back like the greatest guy in the world, turned around so many bars, greatest TV star in the world, greatest bar owner in the world, greatest bar
Most
rescuer.
refined palate.
Most refined palate, best looking man in Hollywood. It just goes on and on. It's like, Jesus Christ, calm down. It's a shitty flavored product. Did you guys read the press release?
No, all I had to read was your statement that says, read the press release to virtually see this piece of shit patting himself on the back like 40 times.
Well,
an illustrious 40-year career.
Hopefully I wanted my personal show notes shared with the world right there. Once again, KK, just,
Way to
I
drop
think you
it.
can sue KK because it says that everything underneath this line is for office use only.
Right. She is, I've called her a fire starter because she throws matches on things, and there you go. There's yet another example.
I will say,
Neely undermines me because
I feel
the
like
bottle looks nice.
Your bar,
nice.
the bar you set for that press release, I guess it would be low, because I read it and I was like, not too bad. This all makes sense. I wasn't mad at it.
Okay. You didn't mind.
I thought it was okay.
Accolades piled upon him it's supposed to be about the product, but in reality, it's just accolades about him. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and
Just
everything.
the adjectives.
Everything that you
adverbs
find
in
on the internet, all it calls him is an entrepreneur. So basically, they're just saying he's going to find ways to make more money, and this is another way to make more money. Maybe it'll sell like Screwball did.
Maybe. You never know. I don't dislike those two things being put together. I just don't think it. I think at best it's a novelty that you might be able to taste from time to time. At best, at worst, it's terrible. It's screwball for me. I don't know. Screwball's a great. I would love to have owned
With
screwball
notes
and
of
sell it.
vanilla and toffee.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
really like to know.
Or
It
as
says
John
Judith-
Taffer would say, with notes of vanilla and toffee. Do you understand what this tastes like?
Yeah.
Okay, John.
We
chill.
should find out and do some on the ground reporting in Las Vegas, because it says due to Taffer's long-standing rapport with the city,
Yes,
the
of
skill
course.
is ideal for sipping. I would love to talk to the people in Vegas and see what they really think of John Taffer. Go from
Right.
there.
Yeah,
And try to validate that statement. However,
No,
you know what?
we love him
Fat
coming in here
washing-
and screaming at our staff.
Yeah.
Fat washing bourbon with brown butter is not a new thing. This flavored whiskey is what it is. I can't stand it. It's a flavored bourbon, because we know that cannot be the case. I'm
Yes.
pissed that it comes on these labels, gets through on these labels. I wish the TTB would wake up, but that's not going to happen. Just know what you're buying and understand the type font of his name on the bottle is quite impressive compared to all the other text on the bottle for the label.
I'm telling you. Taffer.
Oh, yeah. Lenny, you had something to contribute there. What do you got?
Well, Steve, I mean, you kind of mentioned that, it's a bit of a gimmick, I think. And
Right.
and sort of riffing off what Tim just said, I wouldn't go so far to say there's not a single flavored bourbon that's worth a crap out there, but is there? I mean, like, I get their place. They're for a certain crowd. I don't think they're for any of us or anyone listening for the most part. Maybe it works in a cocktail, but I'd rather make a real cocktail. But the flavored whiskey category is one that is reported to continue to grow. So, I think anyone who doesn't get into whiskey because they're truly passionate either about making it or blending in some creative capacity, it's always going to be a cash grab. That's what most business is, unless it's a passion project.
Right. But you don't have to like it or respect it if you are, really into it yourself. If you love the bourbon industry, I don't think these things are really good for the bourbon industry, and that's where I get offended. I feel like they're ultimately bad for the bourbon industry. A lot of these things. I
So
feel
you
like
would rather the money go to expanding the seltzer industry.
the what industry? Seltzer. I
Seltzer.
don't care. As long as it's not, hurting bourbon. I feel like celebrity brands ultimately hurt bourbon. I do. I feel like that they're bad for the people have bad experiences with these things, and I think the same way I feel like any distillery in Missouri that puts Missouri bourbon on their label and it's a shitty product, I feel like it hurts Missouri. I feel like it hurts people that have good distilleries that are making good Missouri bourbon. I feel like someone who picks that up and tastes that. That's why I don't necessarily like things like creating a category that says Missouri bourbon and you just have to hit the qualifications, that none of which involves any sort of taste or anything like that. If you meet the minimum qualifications, you can put that on your label, and I think that's the way. And that shit happens. I literally had a conversation. A guy tried to get into our shop, and a Missouri, I'm not going to say who it is, but a Missouri distiller tried to get into our shop. And I said, I'm sorry, to his face. I said, I'm sorry, but I just have not found your whiskey to be very good. He says, that's okay. You put locally produced on there and people will buy it. And I said, that is 100% the wrong answer. And to me, all these celebrity bourbons are the same thing. Just put my name on there and the shit's going to sell. Who gives a fuck what's in there? It's going to sell. And I think that's the problem with
Yeah,
this.
that's what sucks.
Right.
Sell the
Like
first
that,
bottle.
that
the second
redneck
case-
Riviera, that brand,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very bad. It is
Yeah.
very bad, but people buy it.
People buy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's bourbon. It's going to happen. It'll happen with any spirit that's
Right.
gaining
Anything that's,
traction.
yeah.
That's on the upswing. Bourbon, tequila, mezcal. I'll tell you what it's not happening with: American single malt. We're
Mic
safe.
drop.
Not yet, but get ready.
fix
It's
that,
time's
Lenny.
coming. Yeah, now we see Beam and Jack Daniels in that single malt. Now that's going to start getting bastardized.
See
Right
if I
now,
can
As long as
Somebody
there's
give me
no
a
like
call.
malted milk ball flavored,
oh yeah, it's coming.
like some
get
something
ready.
ball.
Yeah.
Don't want it.
Captain Kirk's malted milk ball flavored single malt. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, and you'll be like,
George
oh,
Takei's Spacey single malt.
God. All this stuff will be on the way. You can start naming the celebrities that'll be out there. When you get the Desperate Housewife having their single malt, then you're done. Then it's over. Lights out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're so inclined, pick up a bottle, and it's certainly not too much to spend. $35, a nice
Not a
80
bad
proof.
price, at least.
Yeah. At least it's not.
For a cocktail contest, something to switch it up without having to
It
fat
might
wash and do the work.
Could work in
It
something
makes
like
sense.
that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So there you go. While we can't endorse it, we can say it may be worth a try, and then you can decide if you like it. And that's all. It should be the rule for everything. So try it, see if you like it, and if you do, pick up as many bottles as you like. On that note, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Kathy, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I am KK Cask Strength.
Tim.
You can find me with the apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur crowd, drinking Taffer's brown butter bourbon someplace near you, as well as on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
All right, Lenny.
You can find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer. Consequently, I haven't posted shit on social media in, 2 months. I'm so tired of posting on social media, but I'm going to try to keep doing it.
You have a company. Yeah. I mean,
It's not like you're running a company.
Yeah. It's not like a business that people care about.
People hire people for that stuff, Lenny.
Yeah, I can't find anyone. But anyway, send your resumes to jobs@deerhammer.com. You can also hit us up on our website, deerhammer.com, where you can order our product shipped to your door, and you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado, which Jen Brenner did recently.
There you go. Yeah. Ultimately led to her getting kicked out of being a super fan, which she was thrilled about. The odd thing is, she finds out about it through the grapevine a month after the show comes out. I'm like, that kind of indicates maybe you shouldn't get super fan status. I'm just saying, right? When you're not listening to the show.
That's accurate. That's a good point.
Maybe. Yeah. Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's. You also will not find me at Deerhammer Distillery.
Maybe down the road.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. I've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Please come by and see us. We're at the ABV Barrel Shop. Maybe sit around at our tasting bar. Try what we've got, and you can decide if you want to try it, buy it, because we allow you to try before you buy. Ultimately, Beka, you kind of led to Jen getting kicked out, even though it was Lenny who did the dirty work. He was angry that you guys came to Colorado and didn't come and see him, and then he's like, now we got another one here, still hasn't come by to see me. I'm kicking Jen out. This is not happening to me again. And yeah, that's true. That's how that goes down. Maybe if you hadn't made that visit, or maybe you went to go see him, he wouldn't have been so angry, and Jen would have been in. So you did play a small role in this. So
big role.
I'm happy to be doing something.
There you go.
I'm just happy to be involved.
Yes. Anything to say before we get out of here?
I just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For our audience, we're going to have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, guys.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen, or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the Hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, But if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.